è molto, molto piacevole e ci dà anche grande soddisfazione perché abbiamo visto che ci seguite veramente in tanti. Oggi è un'altra giornata speciale. Io tutti i giorni ripeto la stessa cosa: oggi è un giorno speciale, oggi è un giorno speciale, ma è vero perché ogni giorno abbiamo davvero degli ospiti incredibili. L'ospite di oggi è un grande ingegnere del suono che ha lavorato con i Queen, con David Bowie, con i Rolling Stones, è presidente dell'International Film Festival svizzero ed è anche figlio di Charlie Chaplin. Voglio che entri qua nella nostra conversazione, nella nostra diretta, il buon amico Luca Lisi. Eccolo, ciao.
Eccomi qua. Stasera avremo davvero un ospite più che eccezionale perché, come hai detto tu, faccio una piccola introduzione tecnica. Sarà tutto fatto in inglese, naturalmente.
Sì, ci sono, ti stavo ascoltando, Luca, ero molto impreso dalla tua...
Ah, ok, perché sentivo un ritorno, scusate. Sentivo un ritorno. I'd like to introduce my brother Alex Ravi, and this streaming will be just in English, and I hope you will like it. Please enjoy Alex. Just 1 second.
Okay. And we really apologize for our English. Ciao, buongiorno a tutti.
Okay, we can say goodbye to Francesco, and just 3 seconds to introduce our guest. Please welcome to Eugene Chaplin. How you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. I'm fine, thank you. I see you're all doing well as well, so that's the most important thing.
It's a big pleasure. Yeah. We are just very honored to have you for what you do in your life, what you did in your life, and we'd like to know you what you have done. About we want to know about something about your father, and I know Alex has got some question to do it, and please, Alex. It's your time, okay? Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, and thank you again for this opportunity to have this. And, you know, we met the first time under the tones of snow. I think you remember that.
That's right, yes. An avalanche of snow.
Tones of snow in the mountain of Switzerland. Yeah, it was very nice because, as I remember, was our piano player, Dado Moroni, improvised on your father mute movie, like a original piano player. I remember Dado didn't want to see the movie before. He wanted to improvise and see what's happened in the meantime. I think you remember that.
Yeah, no, it was a fun evening. It was very good. You know, it's nice and it's strange. Well, to me, you know, I'm a big fan of my father's music. So I've been to at times where sometimes the improvisation is not as good, but I must say with Dado it was marvelous.
Yeah, Dado is in Italy we say fiore all'occhiello.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, because Eugene is from Switzerland, and maybe you understand all Italian, but we decide to have this in English.
Exactly, yes. Well, I understand Italian, but I don't really speak it. I don't practice it enough.
Yeah. I want to start with something about music because your father wrote, I think, the masterpiece of music, Smile, and many others. I remember Eternamente, Smile, I played many times on the cruise ship when I was a musician. But from that song, originally was only musical. And the first time who was recording with the voice was Nat King Cole, up to Michael Jackson and many others artists sing and play that song. I want to ask you, what is for you, maybe for the history that you know much better than us, which is the magic of this song and has become milestone of music?
Well, I think it's because, well, partly because of the film, Modern Times, the story of the tramp meeting a girl and all, and everything goes wrong and everything. And at the end, you know, the police is after them and all. And the end, when he walks off on the road, he looks at her. As you see on the picture, he says to the girl, "Smile," and the music starts. And then my father wrote the music. Then I forget the name of the lyricist. He wrote the song "Smile." He put the words to it.
Yeah. So Nat King Cole was the first.
And Nat King Cole. There's so many.
I see yesterday on
people,
Wikipedia was tons of musicians. And
it's funny because it goes Rod Stewart. One version I like a lot, which is very funny, is Jimmy Durante, who was an American actor, old actor. He talks through it. He doesn't sing it. It's quite funny. No, there's millions of different versions, but I guess the Nat King Cole one is the most famous one, of course, because his voice is so beautiful, and the arrangement is absolutely beautiful.
Also, his daughter sang. I remember in her album, one of the best albums, Natalie Cole.
Yes, when she does the duo with him. Yes, that's right.
Yeah, exactly.
No, she did it well. No, but there's a lot. I forget his name now. The guy who sings "I Lost My Heart in San Francisco."
Tony Bennett.
Tony Bennett. He does a version of it. Absolutely fantastic as well.
I think he make a version also with Bill Evans on piano. I think it's in the duets. If I don't remember wrong, maybe someone can say if I'm true or not.
Yeah, when he did
I want to ask you.
Yeah, I just said when he came to Switzerland, Tony Bennett, to do his concert, he says, "Oh, I want to sing a song because I know that Chaplin lives here," and he sang "Smile," so it was very nice.
Wow. Yeah, this is. I think I can have a heart attack if my. Yeah, also the Michael Jackson version. I can imagine when you receive the news that Michael Jackson will sing the song of your father. I think it's.
Yeah, well.
Also the pop star, because many kids didn't know about.
He was a big fan of my father's from a long time, and. He came a first time to Switzerland for one of his concerts, and just before his concert, he phoned up my mother and asked, "Oh, can I come and say hello?" So he came and said hello at the house. Then he came a second time. My mother died a few years before that, but he came to Switzerland. Then he phoned me up and said, "Look, do you want to come and see the concert?" And we all said yes. So there was about 18 people of the Chaplin family going to see Michael Jackson in the stadium. But, it was very strange because we had the VIP box, and he had a camera and a cameraman filming us all the time. I guess he must have spent hours watching the video after to see our reaction, if we liked the show or not. But the sad thing about it is the next day, he said, I'll come back over the next day to say hello to you at the house. And we waited for him. And then he phoned and he said, "Look, I can't come because it's raining." And I said, "But so?" And he said, "Well, if I catch a cold, the next concert will be cancelled. And then I'm in trouble." Yeah. So he couldn't come in, it was raining. But he turned up about a year later again and stayed about a half an hour. It's 3 times we met him, so it was quite nice. We're all impressed because he's a...
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah.
But
as I know from musicians from States that I know, I have a relationship with Steve Porcaro, Greg Feeling, is that Greg Feeling was the artistic director. He told me that Michael, in the security place, of course, when he was on the street, he has many bodyguards around, but when he was safe, he was so kind guy, very, very simple.
He was
nice person.
No, he was a very kind guy. The truth is, I think he was a star at a very young age. At the age of 5, he was 5, 6 years old. He was already on stage singing. And
maybe 4. I think the first song he sang, "I'll Be There," it was 4 years old, I think.
Exactly. And I think really the only place he really felt happy was on stage. I think the fame of him made him an introvert, so he became a very big introvert. And he, like all the superstars, especially in America, they're all surrounded with yes people. So you lose.
And your father was a piano player?
Yes, he was a piano player. He was. He taught himself how to play the piano. He played the accordion and he played the violin as well. So, but he all taught himself. It was like Paul McCartney. Paul McCartney can't write music. He composes and then he gets someone to write the notes down.
Maybe when he gets old, he understands the difference between notes. But
no, exactly.
I see. I didn't know that your father played accordion, and because I see in many movies of your father was the accordion player.
Yes, I played. He played the accordion. He played violin. He received at the age of 12 years old. He received the violin, so he learned the violin. And I think he could play the cello as well. There's lots of pictures of him playing the cello.
That is a.
Okay, he loved music. What my theory is, music doesn't have any language. If you see musicians around the world, when they talk about a piece of music, they understand each other. They look at the notes. It's an international language. And my father, with silent movie, it was an international language as well. But he understood very quickly that if he put both together, the picture and the sound together, he realized that he could bring emotions to another level.
Yeah. And how the music from your father came to you? You're also a musician. You play any instrument? Because as I remember,
no. I can tell you what is a good song or a bad song, but that's about it. But I'm not I don't play any instruments at all. I guess I inherited from my father to have the ear about music. I like music very much, and that's why when I started very young, I worked with opera. I was a stage manager at the Geneva Opera House, and worked with opera. And after I worked with ballet.
Wow.
So, and I'm a Woodstock generation person. So, working with classical music was at first difficult, but then you discover the sound of live big orchestras and all that, and you learn from that, and you realize how nice it is. And ballet I loved very much, because ballet is like mime to a certain extent. It's very elegant. Well, I'm talking about classic ballet. It's very elegant. And of course, music like Tchaikovsky and everything is very easy to listen to. So so when you're
right. I remember the Nutcracker.
The Nutcracker. Yes, it's fantastic. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. And
yeah, my daughter. Yeah, my daughter loved it. I've been with her in the cinema to watch the movie 2 years ago, and she was nuts about it.
you know, it was funny. A few years ago, in Quebec, the Symphonic Orchestra of Montreal did a little medley of Chaplin music, and it was conducted by a guy called Sketch Henderson, who was an old conductor from the Hollywood days. He was really well known because he worked for film music a lot and all. And I went to the rehearsals. He invited me to the rehearsals to see the rehearsals. And then he said, okay, we're going to play Chaplin music now. Come off your seat and come and sit next to me. And he had all the instruments, all the full symphonic orchestra there. And he started to play Limelight and Smiled and all that. It was a big medley and all. And I tell you,
Wow.
I was saying this is the best seat in the whole theater. And I realized how lucky the conductors are, to be in the middle, surrounded by all the instruments.
They can hear very well.
Yes, exactly.
So there is a nice question. If it's heavy to be a son of Charlie Chaplin, and if yes, how many influence you have from this to be a son of Charlie Chaplin, and in your career, in all your age and your music, in your all entertainment field that you has work.
Well, is it hard to be the son of? I never been an actor, so I never felt. I never thought it was that difficult. Having a father like Charlie Chaplin is great because I'm here. I can talk about him. I'm proud about him, and he's part of history. But he's a part of the nice history, because still now I'm amazed by the amount of love people have for him. It's absolutely fantastic. And so speaking about him is no problem for me. It can be difficult. Well, it's easy because it opens doors. Some people will open doors. They say, "Oh, it's Eugene Chaplin. I'd like to say hello to him. Let's open the. Let's greet him." But the problem is, once you walk through that door, you still have to prove who you are if you want to get the job.
Yeah,
if not, it doesn't work.
The surname is not enough. Yeah.
Yes.
I think it's a problem of old son of the. But tell us when you were young, how you've been in the studio and work with the Rolling Stone, Queen, and you mix heroes from David Bowie.
Yes, yeah. Oh, it's funny. The studio days was amazing because when I left the Geneva Opera House, I went to work for the Montreux Casino, which was just built. Because if you remember, the casino burned down at the time, and Deep Purple did that song "Smoke on the Water." It's about the casino burning, and they built a brand new one, and they were looking for some people. I said, "Well, look, I'd love to be there and have a job there." So he took me, and I started from right at the beginning, like making tea and stuff like that. But it was amazing because the very first clients we had was the Stones, Rolling Stones, and we did the Black and Blue album there. And of course, it was at the time when groups had a lot of money, or I should say record companies had a lot of money. So they would come to Switzerland and they stayed there, was it 4 or 5 months to record the album. And then they left, and then Emerson, Lake and Palmer came, and after they left, and then Yes came, and it's just one after the other, So to me, it was a job. It was interesting because I loved music, and now in history, time passes by and you say, wow, I was involved with that. You don't realize it at the time. It's only time will tell. If it's such a big success, then of course you're very proud of it. And Bowie is the same thing, except with Bowie, we stayed friends after it. He was a time in his life where he just divorced his wife Angie Bowie, and he came to Switzerland to live, and he recorded Heroes, most of the songs, in Berlin, and then he used the studio to mix it, and the very funnily enough, I belonged to one fan club in my life, and it was the one of David Bowie, because I loved that he had that image of you didn't know if it was a man or a woman, and the makeup and everything, and I thought that was cool. It was cool, and never in my life I thought I would meet him. So we got the reservation, Bowie and all, and we were talking. People working in the studio were all talking. We were saying, "Oh no, this is going to be full of drugs and weird people coming." And there was a knock on the door. There was a guy with a hat on and a beard, and he says, "I want to go. Can I come in?" And I said, "Look, sorry, no, you're not allowed because we're waiting for a client." And he says, "But it's me. I'm David Bowie." I said, "Oh, so sorry. Please come in." It started off like that, and then we stayed. We became very good friends. He was an amazing artist to work with, because when he would write the lyrics of his songs, he would take a newspaper. He would take the newspaper, he would read it, and he'd like, "Oh, this is an interesting word." So he would cut the word out, and he'd continue, and he would cut maybe 50, 100 words out of the newspaper. Then he would put it on the table, and he would start like a puzzle.
Wow.
Moving things around, and that's how that's how he did his lyrics. Well, for some of the songs, anyhow.
Wow.
Yeah.
So there is a nice question from Tiziana Guerrucci. She asked if she can make a question, but not musical, but of course, yes. Chaplin and the politic. Wow, this is the intro. What your father think about the political world today, about in America, in particular in America?
Well, I think with him, I don't think he wanted to be political. It happened he became political because people were becoming very nasty against him in America. There was a lot of jealousy. Of course, having very young wives didn't help. Then doing The Great Dictator didn't help, because when he did The Great Dictator, America wasn't at war with Germany. And, it was...
He produced that movie. He produced by himself that movie.
Yes, he had problems because no one wanted to finance him, so he financed it himself.
Wow.
So, what I like about him, I just saw an interview with him. He says, I say statements which I feel very strongly about, but political views are giving essential of their lives. He says, "I let the church do that." So, I think he's, I think he had very strong views. He was a humanist, and, coming from nothing, his life is in three parts. When he was a young kid, it was the survival. You had to survive. His mother was very ill. and she could not feed Chaplin and my father and his brother, my uncle. So they were out on the streets, working, and it's like that. He learned, there's the story of his mother was on stage, and she was singing. She was a singer, and suddenly she forgot the words. She was ill. She started coughing. She forgot the words, and he was 5 years old. He saw his mother in trouble, so he went on stage and sang the song, finished the song, and people loved it. And in the musical at that time, if you liked the person, you'd throw money. So they would start to throw money. And more he was picking up the money and saying thank you, more the people were laughing and throwing more money. And I think at that age, he understood, this is the job I really want to do. So he started like that, and then of course he had the chance to go to America, but in between times he learned his trade in the circus with clowns. After he was doing a lot of street performing and all, and then he managed to get into a troupe, and his career. He went to America, then he discovered film, and everything happened. So he knows where he comes from, and he never forgot that. That's why he always stayed English all his life, and that was another thing the Americans were not liking about him. He says, "Oh, you live in America, you became famous because of us, but look at you now. You're supporting communism," and he didn't support communism. What he just said is communism is an idea. And he says, it doesn't kill anyone. I'm just interested in new ideas. That's all.
Yeah.
And so that didn't go down well.
A strong sentence for that time.
Yeah.
I think.
And as well, he said the Russians opened the front line in Europe to fight the Germans back and all, and they lost a lot of soldiers as well. And he said, I admire them for that. So it didn't go, well, he was very provocateur, of course, because, but he didn't like, he was a self-made man. He had his own way of thinking, which was very straight and very humanistic. And he just didn't like anyone trying to block him and make him change his mind about anything.
Wow.
And that's why when he did his films, he did everything himself, until distributing the films. That's why he did the United Artists, so he could distribute the films. So he controlled it. He was a control freak to a certain extent. But, that's the great thing about it. And I'm thankful for it, because if we still have the rights of the films and still distribute the films around the world now, it's thanks to him, because he protected everything really well.
Yeah, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
One question that I was excited all night long, because your father became a friend of one of the most important men in the world, that Albert Einstein. And the legends say that Einstein, the first time met him, say, what I most admire about your art is your universality, and you don't say a word, yet the world understand you. And your father answered, true, but your glory is even greater. The whole world admire you, even if they didn't understand one word of what you say. I want to ask you if it's true, and how was the relationship between your father and Albert Einstein?
Look, I don't know if it's true. I tell the story all the time because I think it's a fantastic story.
Yeah,
we don't have any proof that it's really true, but one thing is for sure is they did meet. They meet in Berlin, and in the 30s, and for the premiere of City Lights, and they got along very well. And we have some correspondence between my father and and Einstein. It's quite extraordinary. He's one of the few people I would have loved to meet because he seemed to have a great sense of humor.
Wow.
And apparently, and what I love him for as well is he was offered to be the first president of Israel, and he refused.
Wow, I didn't know this.
It's incredible, huh?
Yeah, that is an incredible story. And let's talk of something about circus, because I know that you love circus, you are involved in circus, and this period is, I mean, for all entertainment, for all, right now, for everybody, but I think the entertainment will be the last step who will start after the lockdown. And
Sure.
how's your relationship with circus? Which is the difference between the circus in the past and the circus right in our days? I mean,
look, I love circus. I love the circus because it's a big family entertainment. Now, there's certain circuses which are not family entertainment, but in general, it's family entertainment. The kids go under a tent, they can see animals, the people can do wow in front of acrobats, and the kids can laugh at clowns, And all normally with an orchestra as well, which is
yeah,
so
it's not
nice.
easy to play in the circus music.
No.
The drums player say that is one of the most hard things for the drums player, because they always have to see maybe the acrobatic, the juggler, and they have to be not on time for the music, on time with him.
But you can't sleep, huh? You have to really be, you have to look at the act, you have to be with them. Okay, people talk about avant-garde circus and old circus. What I like to say is the circus has always been avant-garde because they always brought new acts, new things happening. And I think that's why I'm not too worried, even though there's the problems with the animals now and everything. But all that is a bit of a circle, and things will come back. But it's like my experience is if you go and see a really awful circus, then will never want to see another circus again.
Yeah.
So if you're lucky to see a really good one, then you'll want to go back and see another one. So, like everything, you have good films and bad films. And, that's it. But it's hard. It's, there's a lot of young people now. They're all athletes, and they all work very, very hard. And now with this lockdown, a lot of them are stuck in their caravans in different countries, and they're kind of waiting to see, even trying to go home. It's hard, and I think being a circus artist is not the best paid thing around. So any money put away now, I think, must be eaten away by months of waiting and everything. And then it's difficult. It's very, very difficult. But hopefully, things will turn. And I think that it's always during the difficult days that the art comes out and becomes really good.
I hope we all hope that after the lockdown, the people will want to enjoy and listen to music, watch movie, go to the circus, go to the theater. Yeah,
no, it has to, because for the minute, it's fine. They say watch television, but you watch TV, and the only thing they talk about is the coronavirus.
Yeah,
and then they say go onto Netflix and. On Netflix now, they're running out of what to show.
I think the Netflix guys are the most happy in the world.
The only few,
Yeah.
Him and the Chinese.
Yeah, exactly. Tell us something about the. I know that there is a Charlie Chaplin museum in Switzerland.
Yeah.
And I read in some new other interview that your dream was to build a Charlie Chaplin adventure park.
Yeah, so that for a long time when my dad died, they're asking my mother, we should do a museum and everything, and my mother wasn't too keen for the minute. And then I thought of adventure. Well, it was like an adventure park called the Time Machine, and the idea of the Time Machine was go through the 20th century of history, and having as a guide my father. And of course, I financed a bit of it, but then finding the finance at the time was very difficult. And I didn't get it. It just didn't happen. And eventually someone contacted me and said, well, why don't you try it again? And then our family house, which is a big house, 30 acres of land, was there. And we said, well, maybe we can do something there at the house. But it was a lot of thinking. It took about 11 years to come true. But now it's there. It works well. We have about 270,000 people a year who come to visit. At first, it was a lot of Swiss people, French people, but now it's quite international. We have quite a lot of Japanese, Indians. It continues, and it's nice because it's quite funny. People come and visit the museum dressed up as Charlie Chaplin sometimes. To me, it's completely crazy, but why not?
I think it's the most used costume in the world.
Yeah, no, they love it, and I think it's nice to see the love people still have for him,
Yeah.
And now even more, because of the troubled times, everyone is talking about the great dictator. And before that, there was a big interest for the film The Immigrant.
Yeah.
So, he comes up, he talked about...
Talk about the actuality.
The actuality, and it existed before and it still exists now, it's always the same stories that come back.
Yeah, my friends from our press office write www.charliechaplinsworld.com if someone want to visit this museum. Se qualcuno vuole visitare, charliechaplinsworld.com, oppure su Facebook Chaplin's World, lo trovate lì, così almeno. Chaplin's World, not Charlie Chaplin, Chaplin's World.
Chaplin's World.
Yeah.
No, it is funny because you have the house, which is, of course, you see how he lived during the 25 years he lived in Switzerland. And then you have what we call the studios, which is a building we built. And that's really for the kids who don't know Chaplin films. You go in and you actually get, you can actually walk into his films. So the kids love that.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember the first time my daughter saw your father movie, even if don't speak, for the kids now it's not easy to understand that the movie is without speech, just music. But they are like this.
The nice thing is I was in Lausanne. It's a town not too far from here. And a lady recognized me and said, Mr. Chaplin, I want you to present the biggest Charlie Chaplin fan you ever met. It's my boy. And it was about a 6-year-old boy. And I said, pleased to meet you. And I said to him, one day you should go to the museum. And his mother said, but it's because he went to the museum. He's a fan now. I said, oh, well, you please me very much. I'm very happy. That's the whole idea about it.
I want to ask you something about music. What do you think about music now? What you listening? Classic, jazz, pop, everything?
It all depends on my mood.
Oh, that is a nice answer. I always answer the same because sometimes I wake up, I listen rock, hard rock, sometimes classic music.
Look, I really love all music now. I love, of course, I love jazz now because I'm old enough to understand it. But I love to go. I'm a big lover of Louis Armstrong at that period, Ella Fitzgerald. I love Nina Simone, and I love all the old classics. Jazz players. I like the modern stuff, but I don't follow it as much. And I love classical, of course. Now classical is so nice.
But your first work was stage manager in opera, so you became opera lover or not?
No, I hated it. I hated it. I sang all these people singing. It was crazy. My first job was Geneva Opera House, doing the Berlioz opera Les Troyens.
That is very strong one.
Yes, and I was in charge of 60 choir. I had to tell them when to go in and when to come out.
Oh my God!
And singing So, but no, you learn. You learn about it. It's like I've seen people say, you've met a lot of people and all, but my biggest frustration is I worked with people like Count Basie, I worked with people like Ella Fitzgerald and all these people. But because I told you I was a real rock and roller, I had my long hair to here and everything. It wasn't my music. And now I love it so much. And I said, what an idiot. You had the opportunity to speak to them and have a coffee with them, and I missed out. It's very frustrating.
It's like the books. Maybe you love more, for example, the Dorian Gray portrait. Maybe if you read it 60 years old, you love it more than when you had 18.
Yeah, cool. No, it's interesting because you see these people, and especially those big jazz legends. I've always seen actors, and I've seen opera singers and even pop singers being very, very nervous before getting on stage, having stage fright. But you have people like Ella Fitzgerald. For her it was like another job at the office, except she enjoyed it. And they were talking backstage. What are you going to sing? Oh, we'll see. And and I admired that so much because there they are. They're in a hall with 2,000 people waiting for them and all, and being so relaxed about it. But because they're such professionals.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
So we invite all our followers to go in Chaplin's World in Switzerland.
Yes.
Maybe when the lockdown it will be a lock open or lock up.
Yeah, we're hoping
we'll be all together. I hope to hug you very soon because.
Yeah, no, sure, no problem. Look, it's a pleasure. I'm always happy to speak about my father. I speak with it because I love him very much, and I can go on for hours. And I'm scared people might go to sleep, so you have to stop me.
Eugene, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Eugene. It was a pleasure. One more time. We are honored to have you, to talk with you, to talk what you did in your life. And so I hope to see you again, maybe real times.
Yes.
Maybe next time, okay?
Definitely.
And so a big huge from me, from the guys are following us. And so just to say goodbye again.
Take care.
Okay.
Grazie mille.
Grazie. And ciao. I know you'll understand. Ciao.
Ciao.
Ciao, Eugene. Grazie ancora.
Grazie. Bye.
Ciao.
Bye.
E direi che facciamo rientrare il nostro
Charlotte. Se l'ho magnato Charlotte.
Arriva un secondo, non parlare, che sei muto come un pesce, adesso puoi parlare, Fra.
Dicevo che volevo salutare Eugene anch'io, ho ascoltato tutta l'intervista, per quel poco che ho capito è stata molto interessante. Il mio inglese non è proprio fluente come il vostro, ma qualche cosa ci ho capito, dai, dopo tanti anni
Ti giuro che ero emozionato mentre mi raccontava le cose, cioè parlare di Einstein e di suo padre, cioè, che sono abituato a stare con voi due, cioè capite che emozione.
Io sono Einstein e lui è?
E lui è Rubbia,
sì. Amici, stavo guardando sulla pagina di Zenarte, abbiamo iniziato con Peter Eskin il 29 di marzo, oggi è il 17 di aprile, abbiamo fatto già un sacco di interviste, la Per il Music con Artista sta andando alla grande, ne siamo tutti veramente felici. Tutto lo staff che si vede, che è Luca Lisi, Alessandro Travi ed io, e tutto lo staff che non si vede, quindi Veronica Sisini ed Emanuela Mignone, che ci supportano sui social e con la comunicazione, con i comunicati stampa, quindi volevo ringraziare anche loro, oltre che voi brutti cefi.
Se mi permettete, che non l'abbiamo mai fatto, vorrei ringraziare anche tutti i soci Zenarte, che magari chi ci vede in diretta, chi ci vede in streaming, dopo in registrazione, ringraziamo, perché senza di loro ovviamente non saremmo qua. Ecco.
E anche quelli che non sono soci Zenarte, ma che ci seguono.
Zenarte, che ci seguono, cioè, proprio, però, se permetti,
Domenico Turiano lo dobbiamo ringraziare perché
però Dome, non possiamo che parlare dei Toto tutti i giorni, cioè io non gliel'ho chiesto, avevo paura che dice what? No, ma sicuramente li conosce perché è un rock and roll. Ecco, l'ho vista più tardi la domanda, ti chiedo scusa. Comunque Domenico è uno dei nostri, è sempre con noi.
Ragazzi, allora, domani è un altro appuntamento un po' diverso, un po' particolare. Domani si beve, io preparerò qualche bottiglia, c'ho della birra a casa, come avete notato. Ho preso un po' di birra per portare queste giornate tristi, però parleremo di vino, due mondi in armonia, il vino e l'arte. Ci sarà Alessandro con due ospiti che sono
Antonio Abbate, che è uno. Allora, devo dire, faccio un passo indietro, devo dire che il tutto nasce.
Perché non lo fai troppo, se poi non si vede.
No. Nasce con una collaborazione insieme alla Fondazione Italiana Sommelier Liguria, e che praticamente io ho fatto il corso alla sommelier, dovevo fare l'esame l'11 di marzo, poi hanno fatto il lockdown e mi sono già dimenticato.
Puoi studiare un po' di più, Ale, non mi sembra granché.
Infatti non sono ancora preparato, dovrò ancora farmi venire due cirrosi prima di passare l'esame. E dato che il presidente Luca Palazzo, la vicepresidente Laura Palazzo sono molto collaborativi, molto anche amici, abbiamo deciso. Come parleremo del vino e dell'arte coadiuvati da un grande insegnante che è stato insegnante nostro ed è un insegnante della Fondazione Italiana Sommelier, che è Antonio Abbate, è di Roma. Si parlerà del vino, dell'arte nella musica, cioè come il vino è entrato. Faccio un esempio: George Gershwin insieme a sua moglie Ira ha scritto The Day of Wine and Rose. Non me la sono preparata, questa la sapevo.
Mamma mia, sai
che quando c'è il vino io so fare bene nella vita, mangiare e bere, giusto?
Esatto.
Mi do solo per quello. No, a parte gli scherzi, quindi tutte le canzoni italiane, so che Laura ha preparato una miriade di canzoni che io non conoscevo, da Guccini a Venditti a insomma, non voglio svelare troppo. Comunque il vino nell'arte, si parlerà di tante cose, comunque il vino fa parte della cultura.
E invece domenica finalmente saliamo sulla nave e andiamo. Ale, dove andiamo, Ale?
Domenica andiamo a parlare di musica su navi da crociera.
E alberghi.
Come
si suona? No, parleremo di come si suona su una nave da crociera e come si suona nelle navi, sugli alberghi di lusso e non, naturalmente. E dato che ho preso parola io, lunedì invece andremo a Venezia e parleremo di musica a Venezia, parleremo magari anche un pochettino di storia di Venezia e parleremo di questa Venezia, dalle foto che ci arrivano, estremamente davvero affascinanti, perché molti miei amici che vivono a Venezia mi hanno detto che per la prima volta, magari ragazzi di 50-60 anni, non hanno mai visto una Venezia così, con i canali completamente trasparenti, pesci, è davvero, davvero bello. Ma noi parleremo della musica folcloristica, della musica che si fa in gondola e della musica tradizionale veneziana, che è una musica che ha più di 3 secoli di vita. E i nostri ospiti sono Roberto Rusalen, che è un fisarmonicista nonché compositore che si occupa di portare avanti, tutelare la tradizione musicale veneziana nelle musiche da battello o in gondola in questo caso. Poi abbiamo Stefano Scutari, che è un noto e preparatissimo chitarrista, e un attore che forse il nome non dice tanto, Ale, però la fascia sicuramente sarà riconosciuta immediatamente, che è
Alessandro Bressanello.
Okay,
è famosissimo per una frase in un film di Checco Zalone, quando spariva, invece che vendere aspirapolveri, lo chiamava, diceva: Zalone, dove sei? Ho fatto anche la censura, Ma no, è stato un grandissimo, a parte il film con Zalone, Alessandro è un grandissimo attore di teatro goldoniano, forse il miglior attore attualmente in vita di teatro goldoniano, spero che non mi ammazzi se dico questo. Ha fatto un sacco di film, è famoso anche in Germania perché sa recitare molto bene sa recitare molto bene in tedesco. Ha fatto anche, scusate, io sono un fan, l'ultimo James Bond faceva il prete durante un funerale, eccolo qua Alessandro Bressanello. L'amico Giuseppe Cannito
oggi la regia l'ho vista sul pezzo, Ale.
Esatto, sì, è vero, devo essere sincero.
Io sono fuori, però io. Luca, mettimi dentro.
No, un attimo che sto lavorando, ragazzi.
Sei un po' lento, però. Dicevo che bisogna dirlo, oggi la regia è stata puntuale e precisa.
Chissà come mai.
Oggi è un caso, Luca, perché gli altri giorni ce l'ho io e andava bene sempre. Però oggi sei stato bravo, devo ammetterlo.
Devo vero.
No, è andata bene, è stata una bella puntata oggi. Poi a proposito di sorrisi, abbiamo 2 giorni invece all'insegna della comicità. Abbiamo il 21 di aprile il matricomio, famosissimi Vale e Jack, centinaia e migliaia di follower tra Instagram, YouTube e Facebook, e ci faranno ridere sicuramente. Poi nostri bruciabaracche, ci sarà Raco Di Marco, poi che ci sarà Luca? Oltre
fammi vedere, ho perso il conto perché stavo pubblicando un altro
il 24 mi sembra.
Poi eccolo lì. Poi invece gli altri giorni, 23 di aprile, 24 di aprile, Luca, è qualcosa che hai organizzato tu?
Il 24, il 25
ci sarà Francesco Meli, grande tenore per chi non è esperto è amante, perché esperti non si è quasi mai, è amante di musica lirica, è il tenore riconosciuto a livello mondiale, uno dei migliori tenori che esistono in questo momento. È stato colui che ha fatto Tosca il giorno 7 dicembre alla primissima della Scala quest'anno, ha cantato in tutti i più grandi teatri del mondo, è genovese e ci regala la sua presenza appunto il giorno 24.
E poi il 25 di aprile racconteremo una bellissima storia che ci ha un po' preso tutti quanti nel suo dietro le quinte, ma la racconteremo per filo e per segno il 25, e il nostro ospite è
Stefano Signoroni, grande cantante che in questo momento è anche medico, quindi come tu ben sai, dato che hai fatto outing ieri che lavori anche in ospedale, dico, come voi ben sapete, anche lui adesso mi sa che lo smoking la sera non se lo mette e rimane in camice. Per lui il suo motto è: levo il camice, sono in smoking, vado a cantare. Cioè, fa questa doppia vita un po' alla Iannacci.
Mentre chiacchieravamo, Davide ha scritto Luca, il link degli appuntamenti di Zenart lo trovi appena sopra, zenart.it, calendario eventi. Davide, puoi vedere tutti gli eventi che abbiamo appena detto.
Lo ripubblico di nuovo, così ci abbiamo come ultimo momento. Avremo ancora da confermare la fotografia.
La settimana
Avremo ancora da confermare, poi lo scriviamo sempre sul calendario eventi di Zenart, scriveremo la data precisa e confermata. Avremo un fotografo a noi caro, sicuramente uno dei grandi esponenti della musica, della fotografia applicata alla musica jazz, che è Roberto Cifarelli. Avremo un giorno ancora da stabilire l'orchestra quadri che lavora al Piazza San Marco, sempre a Venezia, e ancora vedremo tutto, dai.
Adesso Francesco ripete tutti gli appuntamenti.
Devo ripetere tutti, io ho visto tutti,
No, io direi che possiamo salutare.
Ce li ho tutti iscritti davanti, più che altro,
Ragazzi, domani sera munitevi di un bel bicchiere di vino, perché faremo un brindisi.
Sì, sicuramente.
Ci organizzeremo. Se porto la birra ti offendi?
No, devi avere il vino, Fra, un vino rosso.
Non ce l'ho, la birra, va bene. Ragazzi, quest'altra puntata volge al termine. Vi ringrazio tutti per essere stati i nostri ospiti. Un abbraccio da Zenart, da Francesco Golini, da Luca Lisi e dal maestro Alessandro Travi. E allora ciao.
Grazie ancora a tutti. Ciao ragazzi, ciao.
È stato bellissimo anche oggi, ragazzi, vi voglio bene.
Ciao.